Welcome back to the channel. RacerX here. Today I want to do a little bit different style of video. Today I want to do a little bit of a reaction style video because somebody sent me a link to a YouTube video that was put up by one of our buddies across the pond. Actually, I had never seen this YouTuber before, but he's got a pretty cool little channel, and they stuck a TRX on the world famous Nurburgring, and it is absolutely hilarious to watch. So I figure I'll show you guys the video. I'm going to react a little bit to it, talk a little bit about some of my thoughts as this monster is barreling around this world famous track. It is something to behold. Anyway, guys, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe, and here we go. Now, I want to take just a quick second and set the stage for this video, because this was brought to us by a YouTuber called BTG Dale. Obviously, this is over in Germany where the Nurburgring is. And we're talking about a RAM TRX that essentially weighs 6,400 pounds. That is a full ton heavier than a Hellcat. Of course, the TRX full size, actually wider than a normal 1500. It sits up higher. It's got off-road. This thing is really made for off-roading, and it's got off-road suspension. I mean, bone stock truck. They just took this thing out to the Nurburgring at full weight and just decided to let it rip and see what happens. And it's pretty enjoyable to watch this. It's kind of funny. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. So in the very beginning of this video, he kind of shows you some of the other cars they brought. They've got a Porsche and a BMW, really nice looking cars. But there, of course, there is the TRX. He's super excited about the TRX. I would be too. Bad Daddy, and of course, there's their trail car. That is a Audi RSQ8. I've reviewed that before. It is a rocket, and that one has a tune and some other stuff done to it. And that's what's going to be chasing that massive TRX. And here we see the rear and just how big this TRX really is. And so really what he's doing is he's going in to talk a little bit about the braking systems on both of the cars, the Audi and of course the Ram TRX. And he's basically saying, look, the Audi has massive brakes, and I will attest to that. The Audis, their brakes are massive. And of course, you know, I believe they're carbon ceramic as well. So, you know, really nice braking system. The TRX, he feels are just much smaller and really inadequate, especially for what he's getting ready to do and slowing down all that weight. And here, of course, we have the parade leading into the track. It's funny to look at these little cars. Look at these things. What is that thing in front of him? You know, forgive me, obviously, that's not an American car, so I don't really know. And so here is the interesting thing. It looks like going through the airport, you know, when you're going to drop somebody off here and you're getting ready to get on the Nurburgring. So a little weird. And here he is entering the track in that massive TRX. Look how high he's sitting up. He's trying to get through these cones, and it is just I think he probably knocked over 4 or 5 cones on the way in. It just doesn't fit. And oh, listen to him accelerate here, though. He is getting after it, and look at how fast that monster accelerated down this first stretch. And of course, the Audi, the trail car, is a little ways back here. And here he is, he's trying to catch up. Of course, like I said, over 700 horsepower in that Audi, much lighter and smaller. And he should be able to hold his own easily with that big TRX. But here we see the TRX, the very first corner. This is hilarious because look at that big monster throwing itself into the corners. It's going through almost sideways. And this guy here is fired up about it because he sees just how quick this truck is and how it's throwing itself into the corners. And look, he's working to keep up with that monster truck going through the corners. And here we are, a nice sweeping corner. I would love to drive this track in, I don't care what it is, a moped. It would just be fun. Listen to the TRX coming down the stretch, a massive truck. And he has got that thing rolling. I mean, look at how quick he's going. Matter of fact, I believe he talks about the fact that he's basically got the speedometer pegged. The top speed in a TRX is 118 miles an hour. This is made for off-roading, not this sort of thing. This is the opposite of what this truck is made to do. But look at the truck doing it. And there he goes. He really hits the curbs, like, you know, these curves really high. Look at, he's basically in the grass on this. And the truck just doesn't care. I mean, there he is, really kind of hitting that corner at the apex there, just kind of going right through, carrying a lot of speed through, and he's literally driving this monster TRX like a race car. It is really funny to watch this. Yeah, look at the amount of progress he's making. Now he did just get overtaken by what looks like a GTI, maybe a BMW hatchback, but the thing is rolling. Obviously, that vehicle is probably highly, highly modified. It would be my guess. And the fact that this thing is even out there just absolutely floors me. Look at him go through these corners. He's just running over those edges and the curves and stuff like they're not even there. Look at him chasing down. Now here's the rear view, and you can see him really getting in this pack of cars, a bunch of cars that are literally like a third the size. He is just mixing it up in there with these guys. That is hilarious. And look at him overtaking a bunch of these cars in that massive truck. There he goes. Got a little bit wide on that corner, but now he's pulling it back in. And as you can see, that BMW, it is a BMW. He is on his butt big time trying to get by him. And but look, yeah, so there he goes. He wants to get by, and the TRX is gone. He just accelerated away from the BMW, really like it wasn't even there. That is just so funny to watch. And he is really pacing these guys up here in front of him. You can see there's that little yellow car that we saw earlier in the video, and he is all over the back of that. I have to believe that it's got to be kind of like there the BMW finally got by him. And you can look at the brake smoke coming out of that thing. The brakes are boiling by this point in the video, guys. So he does talk about that. All these sweeping curves and stuff. He's having to do a lot of slowing down, and he can't use all 702 horsepower here. You see him go around that curve. He's still trying to just roll with all these small cars, and he's doing a pretty good job of it, considering the fact his brakes are completely fried already at this point during the lap. And there you go. So he's actually having to hold back a little bit. He could overtake several more of these cars if the brakes weren't just on fire right now, and that's what he's talking about quite a bit. And see, there he goes. He got overtook by this guy, but he kind of had to rein the power back in a little bit and kind of keep things safe. And he's still managing to keep up with these guys, and in some cases actually pass them in this monster. which is just stupid to think about, the fact that he's even out there, let alone passing people. And of course, there's a guy in the trail car talking about, they're talking about how hot the brakes are and how he's having to kind of lay back a little bit. But you can see even this guy here in the faster car is having to work to keep up with the TRX. And I feel like the TRX really isn't even working under full power here. It's just exceptional what this thing is out there doing. And yeah, he's definitely trying to chase him down. Look at it go. Whenever the track straightens out, watch that big monster just start to rip. There it goes around a corner, kind of sideways. Here he comes. Now he's going to be on the gas a little bit here. Yep, there he goes. You can see how hard he's accelerating down this stretch. Look at it. It's leaving the Audi a little bit here. This is hilarious to watch this thing go. Look at it go. And now you can see he's laying on the brakes pretty early, kind of pumping the brakes a little bit to try and get all that weight slowed down in this truck. But he's doing a pretty good job of reining the power in. And mind you, this guy is not a pro race car driver. I mean, but he's out there doing this. And now we can see he is right on the butt of this Mazda Miata. Can you imagine what he's thinking, seeing that giant TRX? There he goes, right by the Miata. Miata is one of the best road course cars out there, but TRX just rolled right by it in that huge thing. Imagine what the guy in the Miata saw in the rear view with that thing coming up behind him. And look at him just rip by everybody in here. This is just incredible to me, how many folks he's able to actually just take over running through this course. So yeah, he's making short work of some of these guys, keeping his speed really up through a lot of these corners, despite the fact that he's really having a hard time slowing down. It's pretty impressive. I'm actually going to go ahead and just kind of let you listen to the audio with these guys for a few minutes. Listen to this truck, and it is just quite the sight to behold here. Supercharger. Just listen to it. Now they do reference several times in this video as he just rips through these corners just beautifully. They talk about just how loud the TRX is. Mind you, this is stock exhaust on the TRX, and they were worried about getting the black flag and being thrown off the course. There he gets taken by a Porsche and a McLaren both. Extremely fast cars. The fact he's even out there with something like that is just absurd and laughable. But look at him go, and man, what an incredible machine. Now check out the view here. Is this not cool? Wow. And that loud noise you're hearing is the TRX. Pulling up through that corner. It's just so ridiculous to see it out there with all those other cars that are half the size, not even. And it is holding its own. Listen to that supercharger. Man, here he comes. All right, so he's got a little bit of almost like a chicane type thing here. And he's getting ready to go into a long right sweeper. And man, he is handling it. You know the truck is leaning over really hard when he's doing it, but he seems to be, and it's so funny because he will literally, look here, he goes going through the grass as he wanted to let that guy by him, but it's amazing because the truck doesn't hardly slow down when he's going through the grass like that. It's pretty impressive. And he's going to try and reel that BMW in. So here we are approaching the end of the race, and you can see he's got a little bit open track. There goes one more guy right by him, moving pretty good, and he's got a few other curves and things to navigate here. By this point, like I said, the brakes are beyond shot. He's just trying to work with what he can, but in terms of the engine actually pushing that Joker along, you can see he kind of takes this corner, kind of gets that truck sideways, and he's going to lay into it pretty good, I think, right here. Yep. Oh man,
my word, that's scary.
Wonderful. Gosh, that thing sounds so good. Both coming and going, that sucker is making a lot of noise. And it's just a big, rowdy vehicle. Look at him take these corners. Still got that car up in front of him in sight that overtook him. And here's our last stretch. And he's going to try and catch up to him. He is catching him. He's going to catch him. Oh, that is the last of it. So he almost caught that guy at the very end. He poured the power on. Wow. Okay. That is pretty darn cool. So you can see him slowing down, giving the truck a little bit of a rest. So, man, what a really neat thing that they were able to take that monster, that TRX, out to the Nurburgring and let it run around with cars of that caliber. And just how many cars he was able to overtake, something that big, that heavy, and that just gnarly looking, was able to do what it did. Man, I am thoroughly impressed with it. So there you go. That is my reaction video to the RAM TRX rumbling its way around the Nurburgring, something it is not designed at all to do, but it is pretty much the fastest thing out there. If you like trucks, the TRX is the top of the mountain right now, and it just proved how versatile it can be in terms of not only can it off-road, but it took it to a track, and it did really, really well. So a huge shout out to the guys at BTG Dale, that YouTube channel. If you've never gone to see his channel, go check him out. I think he deserves a little bit of praise for this video because it was very, very neat. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below, and I will catch you on the next one. So until then, RacerX.